Game 2 of the series against the Corpus Christi Hooks, and we're joined by last night's maybe best pitcher that we saw out there on the mound, Zach Zaneski, normally the catcher for the Riders, but 3 scoreless innings for you, Zach. Congratulations. Just give me your look back. What do you take from that experience last night?
Well, it was all kind of a blur, to be honest with you. The next thing you know, I'm pitching, and I was just trying to go in there and throw strikes and honestly just do that alone, and whatever happened. But really it was a lot of fun. I had a great time, and I know I'm sore today, but that's to be expected. So
yeah, I'm sure you had to ice down your arm a little bit more than you would have after a usual game.
Yeah, my arm, my shoulder, and my lower back was a little tender, to say the least.
Is that a career highlight for you? I mean, I was talking about it on the air. I said, this has got to be, regardless of how this turns out, it's got to be one of those things you put up there on the bulletin board as, favorite moments from my career.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, when else am I going to get a chance to do that? Who knows? Maybe I do, maybe I don't, but not many guys get that chance. And so I went out there and try to do what I could, what I can, and that was throw strikes, but I wasn't just going to let him hit it. So, I tried to compete.
As the game was going on and you guys were tied after that great comeback that you guys tied it at 7, at what point did you think that it was going to become a possibility, or did anybody reach out to you to say, hey, Z, watch out because you might be getting in there next?
Well, I was down in the bullpen, and it was the 10th or so, or 9th or something like that, and Bonilla had been pitching, and I knew, he was only going to go maybe 3, and then maybe Reyes, and we only had a few guys in the bullpen, so I'm like, we're getting short here, and it was either me or Alejandro Solen, so I ran down on the dugout and talked to Jeff, the pitching coach, and I was like, am I getting in there tonight? And he's like, you might. He's like, but we got Jimmy next, and then so when Jimmy went out there and we didn't score, and they didn't, and we shut them down, and I knew that there was a chance.
So you didn't lobby between you and Solen for it, or did he lobby at all and he lost that?
I don't know if he did or not, but I kind of lobbied for it a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I told Jeff I'd be ready, and if he needed me, just let me know. So
I spotted my binoculars while Reyes was still out there. It looked like McClellan was showing you a few grips out there in the pen. Did he give you any insight?
Yeah, I was like, heck, this is the first time I'm going to pitch in 10 years. I might as well ask a guy who's got 5 years in the big league. So I was asking him what grips for a cutter and, any advice he had. And he kind of just told me just to throw strikes, but that was fun.
The last time you pitched, you told me after the game, was when you were in high school. Did it feel like it was something you could just jump back on, like riding a bike? Did it feel natural for you?
You know what? Pitching has always been fun. Maybe not the most natural for me, but being a catcher, we throw so much every day, as it is, and it's not like pitchers who never get to hit, So we're always throwing the baseball, and I felt confident in the fact that I could throw strikes, and I know that I've gotten stronger in the last 10 years, so I was a little anxious to see how hard I was going to throw, But no, I honestly, when I was in the bullpen warming up, I didn't think I needed too many pitches, and after a few, I felt okay, and I was like, let's see what happens. So I just, went out there and did it.
What was the level of your pitching experience in high school? Were you a guy that was regularly in the rotation?
Not quite. I was our number 3 guy. We had our number 1 was a big leaguer, my cousin Andrew Kerrigan, and our number 2 was a big lefty who threw pretty hard too. So we had a few guys who could do that. My senior year I mostly caught, but I did pitch quite a bit in my high school career. So
your first one I think came in there at 91, and I wasn't sure I believed it until I saw the next ones come in the upper 80s. Did that surprise you how hard you were throwing? Did you glance back at the radar gun at any point?
Yeah, I think it was like the 3rd pitch I had to look back at some point. The first 2 pitches I was kind of lost in the moment. And then the 3rd one, I was like, I'm going to wait to look how hard it was. And it said 87 or something maybe. And I was like, dang it. So then I tried to throw a little harder. But yeah, I've always been wondering how hard I threw now. And now I know I could hit 90. And, not that it means anything. It's just the ego thing. But no, it's kind of cool to see that.
Give me the full repertoire of what you had. I thought I saw a fastball, curveball, slider change. Is that what you threw?
Yeah, well, I that's what I can throw, I guess. Maybe not all for strikes, but I threw mostly fastball, slider, and I tried to throw a changeup. That didn't really go so well, so I kind of axed that and just went fastball, slider. And I knew some of their guys are first pitch aggressive, so I just tried to mix in a slider and try to keep them a little off balance.
Okay, now tell me, what part were you most pumped after? The strikeout of the first batter, the double play at the end of the inning, or getting Santana to fly out?
You know what? I was probably most pumped after the ground ball double play in the first inning, because once you get that first inning, I was pretty nervous. I'm not gonna lie, the most nervous I've been in a long time. Running down the baseball field and when I got it, I knew I could maybe get him out if I located a fastball inside, and I did, and I saw one right to Odubel, and I was, they were first and second, one out, and the last thing I wanted to do was come into my major league debut as a pitcher and lose the game. So, I ran off the mound pretty pumped into the dugout and almost felt like I was in college again.
Now, you only walked one guy, you hit a batter, but I mean, for the most part, you were doing what you wanted to do, which was throw strikes. Now, when you're back there behind the plate and the guy's struggling out there in the mound, does that give you the liberty to say, hey, come on, just throw some strikes? I threw strikes. Even if I can throw strikes, you can throw strikes.
You know what? I don't think so. I mean, I equate it to hitting, and, I've hit my whole life, and, there are days where you feel like you've never hit before. So, there's going to be days where pitchers, are going to feel like they just don't have it, and I understand that, and nothing in this game comes easy, and even when you're feeling great, you're never as good as you think you are, and you're never as bad as you think you are. So it's I think I sympathize with them more so after that experience, because I know how hard it is to throw off speed for strikes and get after hitters that way. It's not the easiest thing in the world.
Finally, what was the feeling in the clubhouse for the team after last night? Because you guys had that tremendous comeback, down 7-0, only to lose such a long game, but the inspiring performances by you, by Chang, who pitched pretty well, bad break there at the end. It was the feeling one of joy that we accomplished what you guys did, or was it really bummed out that you lost a close game?
Well, we were bummed out for sure. I mean, anytime you lose, we were bummed out. And it was such a long game, and it's draining mentally and physically, and especially if you lose, it's not really fun. But we had fun playing, and even though we lost, me coming in there and pitching and keeping us in the game, and Chang coming in there, and I mean, we came back, and down so early in the game to come back like that was great. And so I don't think it was a demoralizing defeat, but then again, it was still a loss, so it was tough.
Zach Zaneski, 0.00 career ERA. Congrats on the performance last night. Best of luck out there tonight.
Thanks, Alex. Appreciate it.
It's Riders pitcher Zach Zaneski. We're back after this on the Riders Baseball Network.